What is a research problem? A research problem is something which you will be finding in and around us. Whatever the solution you have found with the help of this theoretical research, so that same solution we will be applying it in our daily lives. So that becomes the applied research problem. Based on the research, you kind of decide what is the kind of data you need. Hello my dear students, I am Purnima, faculty in the Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. In this introductory session, let's have a look at what is a research problem. Now, what is a research problem? A research problem is something which you will be finding in and around us. So it may be through a personal experience, or it may be through a social issue, or it may be through a literary review, or it may be through any of your job situation. So a practical experience. So based on all this, you can always have a research problem. And let us see what the session holds for us. Here, creating a research problem is an important step in the research process, and you can help outline the process of your research study. So, how do you do the problem? Suppose if it is through a personal experience, so it will be like if you have experienced long queues in a bank, or if you have experienced long queues while waiting to buy a ticket in the railway station, then what is the solution to this? So you would have thought about it. So that becomes a research problem. So there are several types of research problems to choose from, and understanding how they differ from each other may help you decide which approach is best for you. Now, in this research problem also, we have different types of research problems, and based on the research problem, we have to decide how it is best. Now, in this article, we'll discuss what a research problem is, the different types of research problems, how to formulate one, and why research problems are important. Now, a research problem introduces the reader to the study topic and the significance of the research. Now, it is only with the help of on the basis of the research problem, you will be conducting the research. So, the entire research will be to just find a solution to the research problem. So, what is the problem you are facing, or what is the problem you have identified in and around you, and how you are trying to find a solution to the problem. So, that becomes the basis for the entire research. So, you have to decide, you have to bring to the notice of everybody that there is a certain problem here, and you are conducting an investigation to find a solution to the problem. So that becomes the research problem, and whatever the based on the problem, you have your area of the topic. So it introduces the reader to the study topic and the significance of research. So based on the problem, you will have the significance of the research. It places the research topic into a specific context to help define what researchers plan to investigate. So here, on the basis of this research topic, it will tell us what exactly the researcher is wanting to find. What is the solution, or what is it he is searching for. Then it provides a framework for reporting research results that will highlight the information discovered. So, it is based on the research problem itself, the research report has to be presented. So, it will highlight the research report, highlight the information discovered. So, what is the solution he is suggesting for the problem, and that will be the highlight of the research report. So, get interview ready with the tips from, and prepare for interviews for questions and tips. Then, let us understand what is a research problem. So, it is a statement that addresses a gap in the knowledge, challenge, or a contradiction in your field. So, a research problem is something which addresses a gap in the knowledge. So, what is the gap in the knowledge? How do you identify a gap in the knowledge? So you have your area of research, you have your problem. So once you have identified the problem, then you go through all the research articles which are based on that particular problem. So when you go through all the articles based on that area of research, you will find certain gaps in the research. There are quite a few questions which are not answered by those researchers. Now, those questions which are not answered, they become a part of our research problem. So, challenge or contradiction in our field. So, if there is a challenge or if there is a contradiction in the field, so that also becomes a research problem. So, scientists use research problems to identify and define the aim of your study and analysis. Now, for example, lot of research is going on in the scientific world. So, what is this? So, there are a lot of cures and medicines relating to research is going on to see whether we can find a vaccine for cancer, whether we can find a vaccine for the other diseases which are very, very deadly. So, all these things, there are a lot of scientific research going on. So, you may decide to conduct research based on a problem if you are interested in contributing to social or scientific change or adding additional knowledge to an existing topic. So, depending on the area of research, we just have to decide whether we are contributing it for a social issue or whether it is for a scientific issue. It may also help identify the key concepts and terms, overarching questions and variables. So, what are the key concepts and terms, and what are the questions, overarching questions and variables? Then, the characteristics of a research problem. Research problems have various characteristics that are important during the experimental process. So, understanding these aspects of the research problem can help you identify and create your own. So, the research problems have certain features. So, if we are knowing what are the features of the research problem, so they will help us in formulating our own problem. So, these various characteristics are important during the experimental process. So, understanding these aspects of the research problem will help us in creating our own problems. Then, in this research problem, the first one is theoretical research problem. So, theoretical research problem will allow you to contribute to overall information and knowledge in your area of study. So, if your area of study is based on theory, then it becomes a theoretical problem and it will allow you to contribute for the overall information and knowledge. So, these kind of research problems are exploratory and provides basic meaning about the problem's nature or areas of informational gaps. So, they provide basic meaning of the nature of the problem and also the area of informational gaps. So, they can address contradiction between two or more perspectives or address an unresolved question. Researchers develop their hypothesis for these problems according to a particular theory, typically stemming from social philosophy. So, theoretical research problems, so they can address contradiction between two groups of persons. So, there may be an issue and the issue, there are people who are supporting for the issue and they are supporting against the issue. So, how do each of them address this? So, how are each of them for or against this issue? So, that becomes the basis of the research problem here. So, the researchers, they develop their hypotheses for their problems based on a particular theory and typically stemming from the social philosophy. Then, next we have the applied research problems. So, applied research problems are non-systematic problems involves the practical use of theoretical knowledge, meaning the scholars may use a particular theoretical framework to gain information. So, it includes exploratory hypothesis and tests to verify the accuracy of the hypothesis. Now, whatever the solution you have found with the help of this theoretical research, So that same solution, we will be applying it in our daily lives. So that becomes the applied research problem. So it involves the practical use of the theoretical knowledge. So whatever knowledge we have gained through the theoretical research, so we will be applying it, we will be putting it for our use in daily lives. And it includes exploratory hypothesis and tests to verify the accuracy of the hypothesis. Now, in this applied research, we can always test how the theoretical knowledge has been, research problem has been evolved. So, what is the hypothesis they have used and what is the proof for their hypothesis? So, social scientists typically use applied research problems in studies where the objective is to provide practical and applicable solutions to help individuals and groups if they can encounter challenges. So, social scientists, they use applied research problems in studies where the objective is to provide practical and applicable solutions to help individuals when they have a challenge. Then next one is the action research problems. So action research problems aim to provide solutions for problems that are more time sensitive and immediate. So there are certain problems for which they have within a fixed time they have to find a solution to that problem. So those problems we call it as the action research problems. So action research problems can be part of a larger reflective ongoing process that combines research, analysis and action. So one very good example of the action research problem is the research for the COVID vaccine. So within a span of 1 year, we could just develop a vaccine for the COVID virus, and because of which now we are able to come back to the normal social life we are having. So that is one very good example of action research problem which is both time sensitive and immediate. So researchers develop and implement a research strategy to create innovative solutions and discoveries as soon as possible. So they try to have the discovery as fast as possible. So for example, a research problem in education might include finding a solution for district-wide problem. Important research design is the detailed blueprint used to guide a research towards its objectives. So the next one here is the research design. So the process of designing a research study involves many interrelated decisions. The most significant decision is the choice of the research approach because it determines how the information will be obtained. So the research design is, it involves lot of interrelated decisions. So once you have decided the research problem, then you have to decide about the research design. Now in this research design, you will be thinking about who will be your population and what is the kind of information you will be collecting from them and how you will be recording it systematically. So all this becomes a part of the research design. The chosen research should be flexible enough to accommodate decision-making systems that in turn would contribute to valuable marketing intelligence tools. So typical questions at this stage are, should we rely on secondary sources such as the census? So once we decide about the research problem, and we have to find the research design. So in this research design, we have to think about what is the kind of data you are collecting and who is the population from whom you are collecting and what is the questions you will be asking, etc. So should we rely on the secondary data, or that is a census? So based on the research, you kind of decide what is the kind of data you need, whether it is a primary data which you have to collect exclusively for the research or whether it is a secondary data which has already been collected. Then here, the tactical research decisions are made once the research approach has been chosen. Here, the focus is on specific measurements to be made or questions to be asked, the structure and length of the questionnaire, and the procedure for choosing a sample to be interviewed. So, tactical research decisions means they are made once the research approach has been chosen. So, what is the research approach chosen? Here, then we have to think about what are the questions to be asked, the structure and length of the questionnaire. So what is the structure of the questionnaire, length of the questionnaire, procedure for choosing the sample to be interviewed. So what way you will be asking for the information from the population, whether you're using the telephone interview, whether you are having a Google sheet, with the help of that you will collect, or whether it is a direct personal interview, or whether it is a mailed questionnaire method. So all this becomes a part of the research design. So these tactical decisions are also constrained by time and budget availability. So before a study can be implemented, the estimated cost must be compared to the anticipated value. So these tactical decisions become very, very important. So based on the time we have and the budget availability, we have to decide about this tactical decision. So that is the research design. So what is the time we have and how we are able to collect the information? So that becomes a part of this research design. Then the research design process. To design something also means to ensure that the pieces fit together. The achievement of this fit among objectives, research approach and research tactics are inherently an iterative process in which earlier decisions are constantly considered in the light of subsequent decisions. So, in the research design process, to design something also means to ensure that the pieces fit together. So, in the research design, we have to see that the pieces fit together. That is, what are the pieces that fit together? The achievement of this fit among objectives. So, that is, we have to fit the objectives, we have to fit the research approach and also the research tactics. So, all these have to fit together, only then we can have the entire research design process. So with this, we come to the end of this session. Hope you have all followed what is a research problem and research design. Thank you.